Okay? What? What? So you get a little hairy in here, you know what I mean? What? Okay. No. One of my favorite jobs I had after school, guys, I actually went out to Vegas. I decided I was going to go work out in Vegas. That was the start of kind of like the entertainment. I decided I want to go and work in some place where, you know, just like Vegas, you come on the ship and you leave fat, drunk, and broke. It's the exact same thing, right? So I decided to get a job on the ship. I'm sorry, out in Vegas. And I worked at the Bellagio. Anybody ever tried the Bellagio? It's a beautiful hotel, you know, with the fountains and everything out front. Well, in there I actually worked as a slot attendant, and I learned about the slot machines there. And the newest slot machines are so sophisticated. They got the internal computers and everything. Well, I learned that a piloerection is a little switch inside the machines, and when the computer actually regulates the amount of payouts for the slot machines, and if there's too much money paid out, it actually will connect with this piloerection, this little switch inside the machine that, you know, kind of controls the payout, so people don't make as much money. That's how. Did anyone here do one of the slot machines? All these machines are high tech. They're like the ones in Vegas. They have the piloerection switch inside. That's why you guys need to make money on them. It's a little regulator inside the slot machines.
It is little, isn't it?
That's it. It is little.
A little money regulator.
Fluffy, I think yours is good.
Oh,
never mind.
All right.
Whoa!
Ernie, are you going to go next?
Yeah, did you say?
Yeah.
I can go next. Back in the day, piloerections were thought to be pretty dangerous. Most people wouldn't mount one once, let alone repeatedly. I mean, at the slightest pressure, the piloerection could be over. Even just, you know, a little breeze could bring one to an end. And that really brought out a lot of disappointment. People had expectations. And luckily today we have the kind of technology where a piloerection can be firmer and you know, more, steady, harder, stronger. A piloerection is a building that's built on piles, basically, or those long stilts, stilts that quite often they're built over water or on the sides of mountains. Any sort of construction on stilts. Usually in flood zones you'll have them built, you'll see them a lot in, it's very straightforward. Piloerection building. There you go.
All right. It's Louisianna. She's itching to go. She'd like to go. She knows it.
I'm so tired of this. I really know what this piloerection is. Who here has heard of LSU? Anybody in the house?
Has anybody been to Louisiana?
Anybody been to Louisiana lately? Anybody? Okay. Oh, got a few people right there. All right. Back in 2003, I had my worst case of piloerection, I think. Since then, I haven't had it too much, but that was probably my worst case. There's nothing you can do. There's no medicine to cure it. You just got to deal with it till it goes away. Basically,
the things you find out about your roommate.
Hey, wait. What did you say earlier about my roommate? She made full farts. Anyway, but no, a friend of mine was studying. He was in med school at LSU Med Center, Shreveport, Louisiana. And so I went up to go see him, and he's like, hey, you want to go down to the cadaver pits? And it was an interesting sight, you know. For some odd reason, that whole death thing, kind of interested. You know, when my grandpa died or whatever, I'd poke at them, see if they'd move a little bit in the casket or whatnot. So I'm kind of strange in that sense. I like to just see if they'll still move afterwards. So basically, he took me down to the cadaver pit. He's like, hey, what you want to see? I was like, man or woman? I was like, it doesn't bother me. He's like, oh, I'll show you a good one. We go to tank 23. Tank 23. Tank's all lined up, smells formaldehyde. What do? I open up the tank. Oh, I had the worst case of piloerection. My hair that stood up real high on my arms, and it stayed there for good about an hour or so before it went back down. But that is what a piloerection is. It's when the hair stands up on your arms and your back, your hair. It was really bad. So that's my definition of piloerection.
Yeah, we just kind of glazed over this, but you used to poke your dead grandfather?
Yeah. Yeah, he was just laying there before
This same thing happened to me when I went to Spencer's and I put my hand on those little, you know, those little balls with the electronic things that are the, what is it, the electronic...
That's premature piloerection. That's when you do that.
Alright, enough. Chiquita, I think that means you're up.
Okay. Well, in Erin's, 2 years as a social host in her history of Carnival, there was at one time she made it all the way to the top, and she doesn't like to talk about it a lot. Kind of a secret, but at one point, yes, she was actually having a little thing with the captain. So, I mean, it was sort of a secret, like it's you know, sort of frowned upon, and most of them are like married at home and stuff, so it's sort of frowned upon, and you know, you don't want them to think that you're getting special treatment or whatever, but a few people knew it, and I was one of them. And so the captain at this time would invite Erin and I, both of us, up to the bridge so that he could demonstrate piloerection for us. And so we would go up, and it's sort of a scary experience. This guy was kind of scary. I don't know. I think it must have just been the whole like dating the captain thing, because I do not know what she saw in this guy. Really kind of old and kind of creepy. So anyways, he would like to bring us up to the bridge to demonstrate piloerection, and you know, I thought he was being very impressive and thought we'd be very impressed by the whole thing. And I don't know if you've noticed, it's been pretty calm this week, and not much with the piloerection, but especially on smaller ships, you get this a lot more. Have you ever noticed that when it's rocky, every once in a while, especially if you're on the lower decks, if you're on the higher decks, you don't feel it, but every once in a while, it almost feels like a thud. Like it's very quick and it's very sharp when it's rocking. Has everybody felt that? Where it almost feels like it. But it doesn't happen in the ships. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit sleeker, and we've had really sort of calm waters. But if anybody's been on the smaller, like the fantasy class ships, you get that a lot on the lower decks, where it sort of feels like a big thud. And we always sort of joke that we're hitting a whale, but that's not true. But what that's actually called a piloerection, and that's what happens is when sort of the front or the front of the sides of the ship hit a wave at an odd angle, and it almost sort of, the wave will almost stand up, and you hit it sort of like this way, right? Instead of slicing through it, which is what we're supposed to do when it's smooth. When it's really rough, the wave will come up, and you hit it at sort of an odd angle, and it causes sort of a thud. You can hear it, but that is actually what a piloerection is.
All right, I think Chiquita succeeded in saying the word piloerection the most. But is she telling the
that.
The roots? The truth. Recap, Louisiana.
Woo!
Now recap.
Yeah, I was just letting y'all know. Yeah, cheer for me. It's basically when you're grinding your hair stands straight up in the air for a long period of time. You know, just stand straight up. Takes you a while. There's nothing to cure it.
All right, Chiquita.
Just the motion of the ship hitting a wave at an odd angle causing a thump.
Okay, Ernie.
An erection on piles or stilts. A building on
Building on stilts.
An erection.
It's the switch that's controlled by the internal computer inside the slot machines to regulate payouts.
Payout regulator. All right, what do we think is in Louisiana? Is it Chiquita? No, she likes you. Is it Ernie? We're gonna see the building on stilts, or is it Big Sexy?
Give me some loving. Okay, thank you, sir.
I think they voted for you. They think it's a building on stilts. So, let's see who's telling the truth. Please stand up. They're all lying. It's me. In Louisiana, your hair's standing on end because you are scared. All right, guys, that brings our Liars Club